Shalom, shalom, Jerusalem. Peace be to you.
Hi, I'm Neil Snyder. Thanks for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary. Have you ever wondered why Yahweh's name is so important? Have you ever thought about the fact that it's been hidden from you right there in plain sight? This is the New American Standard Bible. It's a 1995 edition. Every time you see the word Lord in this Bible, where all the letters in the word Lord are capitalized, Yahweh's name belongs there. Every time you see the word God in this Bible, where all the letters in the word God are capitalized, Yahweh's name belongs there. There's some very important information hidden from us because the name Yahweh has been taken out of the Bible. In this Snyder Talk video commentary, I want to share with you just a couple of verses, 3 verses, that'll explain what I'm talking about. Let's look at Exodus chapter 3, and we're going to look at verses 13 through 15. Now, I'm going to read this and put Yahweh's name in it where it belongs, but I'm going to also show you what this Bible actually says. All right, now again, this is Exodus 3, verses 13 through 15. Then Moses said to God, Behold, I am going to the sons of Israel, and I shall say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you. Now they may say to me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, I am has sent me to you. Now, almost everyone around, every Christian I know, knows that God told Moses his name is I am. And I just read the verses to you where he said that. Those verses are Exodus 3, 13, and 14. Yahweh had given Moses instructions, and Moses is hesitating. He's trying to find a way to back out. And he says to Yahweh, I'm going to go to the sons of Israel, and I'm going to say I was sent. Who am I going to say sent me? And Yahweh said, Tell him I am sent you. I want to read those verses again. Exodus 3, verses 13 and 14. Then Moses said to God, Behold, I'm going to the sons of Israel, and I shall say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you. Now they may say to me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, I am has sent me to you. If Yahweh had stopped there, we would say his name is I am. Actually, that's the English translation of the Hebrew word Hayah, from which Yahweh is derived, or maybe Hayah comes from Yahweh, but that's where the name Yahweh comes from. It means basically to exist. There's no way to explain God except to say he exists. No one created him. He's the creator. But I want you to look at verse 15. Now this is Exodus 3:15. God furthermore said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial name to all generations. I like the New International version of that verse better. The New International version says, This is the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. Now, Yahweh first tells Moses he is I am. Basically, he's telling Moses he's the creator. I am means I exist. And then he says, But I want you to tell the sons of Israel that Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. And then he says, This, referring to the name Yahweh, this is my name forever. What is his name forever? Yahweh. This is the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. Now, ask yourself this question. How important are those verses? Yahweh makes it very clear that he wants us to remember him by the name Yahweh forever. And what did we do? Not us personally, but Bible scholars have removed the name Yahweh from the Scriptures completely, so that most people don't even know God's name. Most Christians don't even know God's name. It's interesting, because if you travel to Israel, Arab Muslims know more about the name Yahweh than people who've been sitting in churches all of their lives. They know how to pronounce it. They know who he is. But over here in the United States, where we have freedom of religion, Christian people will mock you if you tell them God's name. And I've even had people tell me this. Well, if that were true, I would have heard it in church. Well, I've got a question for you. If you haven't heard it in church, what does that tell you? It means somebody's not well informed. You can't tell me, after hearing these verses, that the name Yahweh is not important. He didn't say, this is the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation for no reason. He meant it. We have an obligation as Christians. We have an obligation to tell the world who God is by name, because we live at a time when we're being told by political and religious leaders that we all worship the same God. We just call him by a different name. Well, that's simply not so. Now, I'll tell you this again. I repeat this in virtually all of the Snyder Talk commentaries, but I'm going to do it again. If you have not read His Name is Yahweh, you need to. It's free. You can download it at hisnameisyahweh.org or at snydertalk.com. If you go to snydertalk.com, it'll be in the pages on the right. There's a page titled His Name is Yahweh, the manuscript in PDF format. You really need to read that manuscript. And once you understand this message, you need to share it with the people you know. I'll tell you something else. You really need to follow Snyder Talk. Every day it's updated with important news items from around the world, but focusing primarily on Israel. There are things going on in the world right now that are very important, and I'll just drop it at that. They're very important, and you need to be aware of them. You need to be knowledgeable, informed. We have an obligation to be informed. How can we share if we don't know? So let's get informed. This is probably as important an end of days message as you will ever hear. Knowing who God is by name. Now, I'm not telling you that I know we're living at the end of days. I'm simply telling you that at that time, there won't be a more important message out there than knowing who God is by name, because there's going to be a lot of confusion in the world. In fact, chaos will reign. It's important. Thank you again for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.